All right. Well, welcome everyone. Anyone that's tuning in from YouTube and people from this immersion. This is going to be a conversation between the three of us. We will be talking about the hidden costs of a hyper-productive society. I chose this topic because I because this one it'll cover um w- what what we value as a society, whether it's um you know productivity, what are we giving for that? um should is there such thing as being healthy productivity, unhealthy productivity, stuff like that? um so I hope that everyone gets something out of this. uh, i am I am a student just like everyone else. I am not a teacher. I'm not qualified as one. I will just be having conversation with everyone. So the first question we have is, why do you think society glorifies being busy instead of being balanced? Um, Humans, from what I believe, I think humans, and we really urge to be a part of something, being uh, having something to work towards. We like a reward. We like um, that dopamine uh, effect. That okay, if I work for this long, I'll get paid, or if I get enough money, I'll be able to buy this, like a house or car. We and people push themselves really far so they could get uh enough money to live a comfortable life. And everyone has a different version of what is considered comfortable. Money is at least today we have money is the driving force for everything, for any field, every any activity. Everything costs something. There's nothing that in this world that is completely free of cost. Um, so putting themselves in a constantly busy spot means that they could it feels like they're always working towards something. Um, and another part about it is that people feel ashamed. I believe that people feel ashamed for not contributing to society when if they are looked upon from their friends and family as not doing anything that helps people. It's some people consider that to be selfish, uh, or they might say a lot of negative thoughts about person. Soc- Society has treats people who don't contribute to anything as freeloaders, or someone just trying to take the easy route. And I think everything that we build in society has 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 thousands and probably millions of people contributing to it. Things are built up through hundreds of years of efforts, inventions, construction of everything. It and when you people say you live through life and you're not doing anything that contributes, it seems like people think that you would take something away from, but not give anything back. I think people really value being busy instead of balance. Andy, would you like to answer that the first question?
Yeah, me?
Uh, I mean, you can go ahead. Do we know?
Oh, okay. Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you. I think society glorifies being busy because being busy looks like success, looks like When someone is always working, always busy, rushing, people often assume that they are important or productive. And I believe that social media also plays big role in this perspective because we constantly see posts on YouTube, on social media about hustle, long hours, which makes balance seems lazy. Yeah, balance, in other hand, is quite less visible in social media, in the point of view on the most of people. Uh, People feel like resting and taking time for rest or for yourself doesn't look impressive. It looks like you are lazy, you are not important when you rest. Yeah, we are creating the culture of rushing, of being busy, always working. Many people feel pressure for this reason to stay busy. It can lead to burnout. Yeah, and it's very hard for your well-being. It's important to rest and not always working. But yeah, I think that's it. People uh, people feel like being busy always or always working seems like you are very important or you are not lazy, but it's not true. Everyone needs to rest. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, I agree, and especially on the part that uh, you don't see people online posting about getting good hours of sleep, eating every meal every day, or taking time to be with family outside of work. No, it's usually the people that s- that say they work 12 to 16 hours a day. They're while they're sleeping, they're trying to make money, even if a few dollars. Like they try everything. They work 2 to 3 jobs, and it gets very excessive and burnout, like you said. I completely agree. Um, and honestly, when people are not taking that time to be well rested, and it it can affect them mentally. It can push when can push them too far. There's a lot of pressure that they have to be successful and they have to be busy. But I think it would affect them pretty bad mentally to always do that. What do you think, Daniel?
Society often values productive and achievement over well-being. Being busy is seen as a signal of success and importance. Nah. Even if it comes at the cost of balance, it leads to stress and burnout, and try to meet expectation can cause a feeling of the inadequacy, reducing overall well-being.
Yeah, I agree. That it affects the overall well-being, and it's not. I don't think it's good for people to be spending all that time and being busy. This next question is: how does the pressure to be productive affect mental health? Which, I mean, honestly, I kind of answered that a little bit. It just, and Edwina also mentioned that it leads to burnout, and burnout is a form of causing mental health issues. People, when they get pushed too far, they get depressed, they lose all motivation, they feel hopeless. Like, okay, I've worked all these jobs and I'm trying to do all this, but still not enough, and it just spirals out of control. Um, people need to understand the limitations of what they can feasibly do, and understand that there's a reason that that's been studied over and over again that humans need rest, and that we're most productive when we get proper rest and recovery. We get proper meals, take some time to, stay fit. All that is necessary for more productivity than just putting in more hours or working more jobs. What do you think, Eduardo?
Yeah, absolutely. Constant pressure to be productive can seriously affect our mental health. Many people feel anxious or guilty when they are not working, even during their free time. Yeah, people feel guilty. Oh, I could be working, but it's your free time. Yeah, this make it hard to relax and enjoy your life. Even you have a good job, good wage, good salary, if you don't take a time to rest, you cannot enjoy your life. Yeah, this pressure over time can lead you to stress, emotional exhaustion. Yeah, when productivity is your main focus, it's very damaged. It's very damaged mindset. Yeah, for your self-esteem because it can create a cycle that's a feeling that you are not good enough. You are trying to seeking for approval for other people, for example. Yeah, no matter how much you do, you think that you are not good enough. You don't take a time to enjoy your life, uh, to celebrate your achievements, for example. Yeah. For that reason, it's important to take a time to rest, to enjoy your achievements. Yeah. Not only for your health, yeah, for your mental health, but for the people around you, people surround you. When you enjoy your life, other people around you can be happy, can enjoy with you. Yeah. For example, if you have a family, for example, you are a couple, your partner can be happy if you stay there with her, enjoy, go out with her for dinner, for example. Yeah, this time is important, not only working. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree, and I have a short story about when I was working this one job. Uh, Anytime there was time for vacation for a lot of people, the the people in charge would say that they even when they're on vacation, they always call and text about stuff at work. And it just makes me think that, like, that's supposed to be your vacation. You're still trying to do work. It's that's not healthy. Like, if it were me, and um I mean, and if if there's a job that won't allow me to just take the complete time off, then what's the point? I want to be able to just turn off my phone for a day or two or a week. I don't know, ins- just uh, just rest my mind. Um, it is no one is supposed to work every day of the year, their whole life. They need to be a part that is reserved for yourself. Everything is everything is has to be busy all the time these days. What do you think, Daniel? Daniel?
It's very important to rest in vacation, and because in mental health is is very important. Né? Então, constantly trying to meet expectation can cause feel of inadequacy and reduce overall, overall well-being. Né? Então, so it's very important rest vacation.
Thank you, Daniel. This next question is, do you think productivity culture confuses self-worth with output? I do think that I think culture, everyone has confused the two. Um, you don't need to strive to be like a business owner, own multiple businesses, and be a millionaire to be anything of worth. It's there's you can work any job is important, whether it's working with the mail or working with computers. It doesn't matter like what type of output or what you do. Everyone has important. They should look at themselves as with a lot of self worth. Everyone is important, but people only determine who's important based on output. Then and just and if people evaluate themselves only with what they accomplish, it, it it's another contributing factor to unhealthy behaviors. If they want to, I mean, if their goal is to become a famous sports player, then of course they will have to, you know, really push themselves. But their worth is not just what they can accomplish on in the sports that they're participating in. Their worth is whatever they choose to do. It's whatever what they feel is is the right path for themselves. What do you think, Edwina?
Yes, I think productivity culture often confuse self-worth with output. Absolutely. Many people start believing that they are only valuable when they are producing results, finishing tasks, achieving goals. But that is not true. Yeah, people believe that they are not productive, they may feel useless or unimportant, worthless if they are not uh, achieving goals or finishing or producing results. Yeah, but I think that this way of thinking is a health. Yeah, it's a health because human value is not based on how much you produce or how much you have your things. I think that people have worth simply just to exist. You are valuable, you are worth person. You don't need to prove to another uh, by pushing yourself too hard. Yeah, when self-worth is tied with your outputs or failures, yeah, it's very damaged way to think. You can feel devastating or not good enough when you fail. Yeah, it's not good because failure is part of our life. Everyone has his steps, his background. Yeah, you don't need to uh, demanding yourself all the time to achieve certain goals, or yeah, just follow your pathway. Do your best to your life. Yeah, this is not good to think in this way.
I agree. Who do we know? It's not good to think that way. Everyone has worth. Everyone's important. Daniel, what do you think about the question?
Uh, yes, man. Many people associate their value with that they produce. This make them feel that their work is tied to how much they do, not to who they are as individuals.
Thank you, Daniel. The next question is, what are the dangers of treating rest as a luxury instead of a necessity? Um, well, in a way, I see this. I see people treating time. The only time that you can actually rest is through retirement, but I don't think that's the right way to think about retirement. Or if you're rich, that you can rest. Um, it's a the dangerous is that it just start to make society have more health issues, mentally, physically. Um, it there's a lot. There's a lot of proven cases of the effect of not resting. So many health problems all over, and and it's dangerous when people don't take rest seriously. Um, Resting is not should not be a luxury, and it will never be a luxury. It should never be a luxury. It's a necessity for everyone to rest and recover, especially I mean, every type of job requires uh, a lot of input, whether it's physically or it's mentally. Some jobs you have to think a lot, and some jobs you have to do a lot of physical labor, but they're each of them, no matter what, has to require rest. And if people never take it seriously, it's just going to keep compounding and making things worse for everyone. Each generation is going to live with unhealthy habits. What do you think, Adrian?
Yeah, I'm totally agreeing with you. Some people see rest as a something optional. Yeah, but rest is not a luxury, is not optional, is necessary, as we need to recharge our cell phone battery. We need to recharge our energy when by resting. Yeah, it's very essential for both mental and physical health, as you said before. Without proper rest, we can become tired, irritable, less focused on our job and our life. We can make bad decision. Over time, this can lead us to a serious health problem. Yeah, and lower performance. Yeah, it's not good. We need to start to see rest not as a something optional, but as a necessary things to do. Yes, to live a good life, to be happy. Yeah, to enjoy more our life.
I agree. It's it's proven that without proper rest, cognitive functions are weaker, uh, physical functions are weaker. People don't develop um, like their body starts to fail to get their immune system is weaker. They get sick more often when they don't rest. Um, they become more stressed. They get angry, become more upset a lot easier. They there's and there's probably like hundreds of studies and people talking about the effects of poor rest, and there's been not as far as I know, there's not a single benefit of neglecting rest. Maybe you would probably make a few extra bucks, but if you can't live long enough to use the money that you've earned, then what's the point, right? So, Daniel, what do you think about the question?
Yeah, when we treat rest as luxury, we risk burnout, decreased productivity, and poor mental health. Rest is essential for recovering and long-term well-being.
Yeah, it's not good for well-being. At least from where I'm from, if someone does not get proper rest, I mean, and whether if there's something wrong, I mean, pilots of airplanes, they if they are not getting proper rest, I mean, they can't fly a plane. If you're not getting proper rest, then you're not supposed to be driving on roads. It's quite simple. If you're not stable enough emotionally, or if you're putting too much pressure in your life, then you cannot function. Yeah. So next question is, how has remote work reshaped our idea of working hours? Well, remote work uh, has some benefits. You don't have to commute to work. You can you have all the tools and stuff necessary at home. Um, so you save a lot more time. Um, it's easier to plan or make meals for yourself. Um, there's less stress of having someone looking over your shoulder all the times. However, there are some cases where remote work can be stressful. There's such as jobs that uh, have you input um, like the exact time of when you start working, when you have to use the restroom, every break, um, ev- every meal, every time you have to step away from your desk for like a single minute, you have to record it, and that can be stressful. Um, it- but I with what people think also that all because you save more time by working remotely, that they should use the extra time to work more. That's not that should not be the mindset. You're just you're just putting more pressure, and you're putting a standard up that this is that people should expect a lot more work out of it. And then when the day comes um, if they ever ask you to come work back in the office, um, you're gonna have, they're gonna expect you to continue performing with that much work, or you'll get laid off. You get removed from your position of your job, and they won't, and you can't argue. Okay, I was working better because I was working at home. Well, they're not going to understand that. They're just going to see whatever is the output of your own work. Um, Working hours um, have changed in that um, that I mean, as for how many hours you work, some jobs are have with salary jobs especially, you only get to work a certain number of hours before they tell you, okay, you're done for today. Thank you for everything. See you tomorrow. Um, but others, when it's an hourly wage job, there people are going to keep trying to add more hours, even if they're working remotely, and they'll still lead to burnout. What do you think, Edwina?
Yeah, I had this problem when I started working remotely in the past, few years ago, because remote work has blurred the line between work time and personal time. Yeah, people no longer have a clear working hours because their home has become their office. It's the same place. For that reason, you get confusing in your mind. It's make easier to work long hours and harder. It's very harder to disconnect from your work because you are using the same computers, same cell phone, internet, same place. It's very confusing to disconnect from the job. Yeah, but at the same time, I agree with you that remote work has also create more flexibility. Some people can choose when they work and can better balance their life with their work time. Yeah, but it's important to have clear boundaries in your life. Set boundaries, set specific time to start your job and finish your job. Yes, and yeah, this is why setting limits, boundaries, it has becoming very more important nowadays when you are working remotely. Yeah, it's very important to have discipline to, in my case, I try to set in my house specific place for work, create my work environment. For that, when I am uh, not working, I try to disconnect from the job, maybe trying to do other things, some hobby, for example, play video game, listen music, yeah, go for a walk, do something to disconnect from the work. Yeah, but at the beginning, it was really hard for me. Yeah.
Thank you, Eduino. And you're right, there still needs to be boundaries put in place, or else people are just gonna think that just constantly keep working, or they're gonna always get associated, always think of that spot as wherever they work at their home or desk or office, as they're always going to associate with work. It's really it would become more difficult to disconnect from it. What do you think, Daniel?
The remote work has bridged the line between the working and personal life. And many people find too hard to set boundaries and work hour extended into personal time because it's very important to disconnect the work eh, and and to work. It's very important.
Yeah, you're right, Daniel. That's is very important. This next question is: can constant productivity uh, can constant productivity harm creativity? In what way? Uh, well, I mean, if people who it could harm creativity because people may not have the time to be creative. If they're trying to be productive all the time, then they're trying to look for something that's more formulaic, something that's already been done. Um, a lot of creativity comes from after you're done working for the day, you're rested, or you have time to yourself. You start to think about different things. That's when people become their most creative. And if you're always trying to focus on productivity, you're never going to get that time to think, what if I tried this? What if I tried that? And you start imagining different um, ideas for yourself in your life. Um, maybe what you could do to improve. Um, maybe you don't want to continue with your career. Maybe you want to do something different. People would be able to stop and think what they want to do. But if they're constantly trying to be busy and be productive, they're never going to get that time. What do you think, Edwino?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think that constant productivity can harm creativity because creativity needs space, and creativity needs rest, need time to run to wander. When people are always rushing, pushing hard, one task to another, you don't have a time to think more carefully. Yeah, your mind don't have a time to explore new ideas, new wave, new vibes, everything's becomes about speeds, rushing, results, not imagination. You end up doing the same things that you already works, because creative ideas comes from trying again, failing, experimenting, when you are hyper productive, you don't have a time to experiment new things. Yeah, because hyper productive doesn't have a room or a time for creativity. Yeah, you don't have this time. For that reason, instead of pushing yourself, repeating the same things, you can maybe create some space for innovation by resting, for example, by trying another things, but it's demanding time. Yeah. Uh, but I agree with this quote. Yeah, constant productivity harm creativity. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, thank you, Edwino. You're right. Right, creativity, it comes from space and rest. It's absolutely true. Daniel, what do you think about it?
Yes, it can. Constantly focusing in productivity can stifle creative things. Creativity creates space to explore, and make mistakes. With productivity culture, often doesn't allow.
All right. Thank you, Daniel. The next question is, do people lose their identity when their lives revolve around work? Yes, I absolutely think that people lose their identity. Um, I've known people that their entire life seems to be about work, and they hardly go home to be with their family. What that does is just um, they they forget the whole purpose of why they're working, or instead, if it's supposed to support family, it doesn't make sense to always neglect them for your work. Um, they People also start to form a rift between their family members. Like if they have a kid, they have a partner, a spouse, it starts to form a rift between them because they're always at work, and there's that bond that they have with their family slowly starts to fade away. Um, they tend to be um, and sometimes when they put themselves always at work, they start to not understand other people and very well, because they think, okay, I could spend all this time at work. That means other people should do it too, and then they pressure other people to constantly keep working or showing more productivity. They they l- they become disassociated with what how common person may think, or they start to become less relatable. It's and it's also hard for them to make any friends, and if their only friends are at work, then I don't think that's how it should be. There's hobby you should make friends from hobbies and activities outside of work, but you shouldn't just solely rely on people who are just at work to be your friends. Um, and just constantly working is just it's straining to everyone, even to themselves. Um, they forget their whole purpose and why they're doing it. What do you think, Hidwino?
Yeah, I agree with you. Many people can lose part of their identity when work becomes their entire life. For example, when someone defines themselves only by their job, they may forget who they are. For example, like hobbies, relationships, personal values, your children, your pets. Yeah, uh, these things define who you are, not your job define who you are. Yeah, but when you define your life tied with your job, yeah, you can lose these things which is really important to you. Yeah, if the job changed, for example, you feel emptiness because your life was tied with your job. If the job changes or ends, this can create deep sense of emptiness because um, you can feel your identity was only by working. Yeah. For that reason, I think that health identity is by balancing life. Yeah. Uh, you can work, sometimes working hard, it's important, but you can balance you with your hobbies, your relationship, your personal values, your things. Yeah, it's very important, not only personal ones.
I agree, and balance is is key for everything. And people try to put too much time into one thing, and it just sacrifices everything else. What do you think, Daniel?
Yes, they do. When work takes up all their time and energy, people forget about their personal patience, relationships, and sense of self.
All right. Well, thank you, Daniel. We do lose our sense of self, and one of the big things I don't get, as I said before, um is when you're trying to work this hard to support family and your kids, um, but then when you with all that effort, maybe your kids are gonna grow up thinking that you're not around because you're always working, and then they're just they're not gonna like the person when they get older. They're gonna maybe feel some neglect, traumas. Maybe they're gonna think that they're not dependable, even though even though if they may have tried to have good intentions on trying to support them, they don't understand the other perspective is that they're never around. The partner is going to think they're never around. The kids are not going to think they're ever around, and it's just straining on the relationships. Well, that concludes those questions. I would like to finish off by asking both of you, what did you think about the topic today? Starting with you, Edwino.
Yeah, my perspective about the topic. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, it was really, really great. I appreciate that because in our society we have a culture that strongly influence our point of view about success. Many people believe that success is connected with money, with job title, long working hours, but it's not completely true. Yeah. From our young age, we are taught to being busy, being productive all the time because it means doing well in life. But on the other hand, doing well in life is have a good personal values, work balance, family time, personal happiness. Yeah, I think that's it. Truly happiness comes inside of you, not for external things. Yeah. It's really important topics to discuss. Yeah, thanks. Mhm.
Thank you, Edwino. Daniel, what do you think about the whole topic today?
This topic is very important, and could because culture normally often defines success based on external achievement, like money and status. This can pressure individuals to prioritize this over personal happiness or well-being.
Yeah. Thank you, Daniel. Um, uh, Thank you, both of you, for coming to this immersion and having a conversation together. So I hope I see everyone next week. I'll be here around the same time. Thank you for coming.
Yeah, thank you.
Take care.
Mhm.
Thank you.